This is the second time that I'm recording this, and thankfully I got the first one done pretty earlier this day because if you're wondering for some reason when exactly did I get it done, it was 3 a.m. I have been suffering a lot from the messed up sleep schedule that I have because of the dentist thing that I've been dealing with recently. We're like going in and out and trying to see if she's there, but calling, but no one answers, and I have to go there. And once I get there, they tell me that she's not gonna be available for that day because she has some emergencies that she gotta take care of in like a hospital or some shit like that. And yeah, about like a month or so have been completely destroyed. And I'm not talking here about just sleep schedule. My psyche, I think, took a lot of damage from that also, in addition to my bank account, because the savings are almost non-existent, and that worries me quite a lot going to the new year with almost $0 in my bank account. So yeah, it is tough out here. Welcome back to the little podcast that I'm kind of getting a bit too used to attach to it. We're almost hitting like 10 episodes, which is insane for me to keep up on this consistency, but this is one of the goals of next year, which is being able to be consistent and being able to finish a lot of projects. That is a major thing that I need to be able to do. And this podcast is one of the things that helps me keep moving on. Good thing for once. And I think since the start of this ranting, bitching, yapping podcast is that I'm happy to report that the fact that the Dentist Chronicles have finally came to an end. Hopefully. I'm saying hopefully because you don't know. I still have another tooth that hurts. The one next to my fang. I don't know what's the deal with it, but it doesn't hurt that much unless I bite on it. So I'm leaving it alone. I'm leaving it there. I need it to chill almost like the other one that's been chilling there for about like 3 years or so. So I'm leaving it there. I'm not gonna even think about it. But she said that there are two other tooths in the back of my lower jaw that have some problems. Some malice is boiling back there, but I don't care about it since I can drink and I can eat and they don't hurt. So until the pain is so severe I cannot sleep or I cannot drink as the other one did to me, I'm not gonna do nothing about it. So yeah, I am very happy that I will reclaim back my time that I had, which like the past 2 days were quite insane, weird, I should say. I had a lot of fever dreams because I've been trying to fix my sleep schedule. But fixing my sleep schedule requires me to kind of wake up late at night or sleep early and wake up late. It is like that those videos that you have a lot of frames of characters going right after each other, literally frame by frame, and you have to pause the video and see what character you got, or if it's a moving object that you need to fit in a slot, and by the way that you do that is by pausing the video or something like that. That is what I feel my sleep schedule was, trying to fit it in a nice slot within like the 24 hours that I have available for me, or 48 hours, because that is what my days seems to be consisting of. I haven't been able to do so, but this weird kind of sleep pattern that I had kind of made me go through these trippy dreams that I don't know how to describe. The best way that I can like describe them well is like those visions in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. I don't know what to call them, to be honest. I don't know if they had given them a name, but it is the dream of the alchemists. It is the knowledge that is bestowed upon them once they talk with that God or everything or all or the one or whatever you want to call it. That he gives them the wisdom. So once you sacrifice whatever you sacrifice, you get into that philosopher's stone, that or not philosopher's stone, the tablet behind him, and he sees all of this knowledge and vision from like the past, the future, everything, and all. He sees it then, and he gains all of that knowledge. That is what it seems to be to me, what I dream of when I have this lack of sleep in addition to like trying to wake up but like wanting to go back to sleep, and then the alarm goes off and I shut it down and it goes off again, but it is after an hour. But what I have experienced in that hour can be like, I don't know, like weeks of work that I have went through, and all of them seems to be ideas that I had, projects that I want to work on, or a lot of other weird stuff. Uh, Sometimes I'm in the middle of a scene that I'm working on, and it is like working on a set in a way, but I'm constructing it within 3D. So it is a mixture between like IRL and 3D stuff and like 2D. And in one moment I'm like making this perfect game that I was working on, that I actually managed to finish the the prototype of. And they were all kind of weird stuff that I had experienced in those dreams, and for some reason I forgot about all of them. What I just said was just the tip of the iceberg. There was a lot of cool stuff that I had experienced, but I don't remember at all. So yeah, that's aside. The sleep schedule and all of that BS aside. Since I was going to the dentist quite a lot and waiting there for a while, for a good while, for like about 3 to 2 hours, just waiting for us to get there, I decided to, instead of lose my sanity, because that was the last thing that I do in my day, is to go to the dentist, which is like at 8 a.m. and wait for her there. Hopefully she get there at 9, which last time that I've been there she actually did get there at 9, but usually she get there at like 10:30 or even 11 sometimes. Anyway, since I'm sitting there and just chilling, waiting for her to get there, I was like, I need to write some stuff. I need to get some stuff out of my head. So I did so. The things that I did were kind of in the topic or in the vein of what I'm doing right here. If you remember, I was talking about trying to give a structure or give like a central topic to this episodes that I'm doing with the podcast. And this one had an episode or a kind of topic that I wanted to talk about, which is about writing. And the kind of writing that I'm doing right here, or the script that I'm reading, because I decided to actually write that and read it to you. So we're actually kind of reviewing this text, or just some of it. We're reviewing it together. Kind of that community vibe, if you will, because these text scripts, whatever you want to call them, I actually wanted to turn them into videos, but I still haven't figured out an actual video production manner or video style that I can do well and I will actually like, because the way that I want to do things is very animation related. I want them to actually be animated, like anime character type thing. Like, even if you look at my the other videos that I produce with like drawings or whatever, those are just the tip of the iceberg. Those are just the sketches or the layout. They were supposed to be animated, but figuring out how to export and import stuff from the software that you animate into the software that you're gonna do the post-processing into the software that you're gonna do the compiling everything, because you want to animate, for example, your animation in Krita or Clip Studio. You're gonna export all of that frame by frame in PNGs and import them to After Effects as a sequence, and then realign the timeline, then do all of your post-processing there or whatever, then render them as a clip and put them in Premiere. And in Premiere you do all of your editing and all of your cool cheeky things that will make you look like a sophisticated talker, even you're saying nothing. Basically, it's like those overly edited videos with all of those After Effects plugins and animations and like textures and overlays, but they basically say nothing. And I hate that. That's one of the reasons why I wrote this about writing, and I wanna go and write even more about it, because there's something that I can't do for some reason. Every little bit of time that I get, I dedicate it to either like concept art, 3D, doing research about either concept art or 3D. It's like 2D stuff and 3D stuff. I don't focus on other kind of dimensions, if you will, because writing is one of the dimensions. Sound is another one of those dimensions, but I don't dedicate that time for them, which is something that I hope in 2026 I will be able to sort out. But for now, we're gonna read the script. So here we are. Given writing the love that it deserves, So yeah, as you can see, I got sensational while waiting for the dentist. So yeah, excuse that and excuse some of the bad writing because this is the rough, not even the rough draft. It is just a draft. So that's all. So yeah, writing is we're starting with a grammatical disaster. Writing is doesn't. What is going on here? Writing doesn't get the love that it deserves, mostly because it is positioned in the back end of a work, like the script lines and the graphics that you interact with in a game or anime. So here I'm talking here about like a good visual example, trying to give you visuals of what I'm thinking of with like the scripts or the nodes that goes in the background that calculates all of the physics and behaviors and stuff for like NPCs and so on. And for anime, it is the same thing, but it is just writing. But the only thing that you see is, again, just the graphics. So going back to the script, being positioned that way makes it the base or the pillar on which everything relies, from the characters to the environments to the lore, the world building, and the visual that we mostly interact with, including audio. Audio too is a very important thing. As I said before, it is another dimension. Because writing is the basis of everything relies on it. The way characters are animated are based on writing. The way VFX and sound effects are made also follows their description in the feel that they evoke. The other artists aren't limited by it, but they are driven or guided by the way that it describes the whatever thing that they're working on, as I said before, the visual effects or the sound effects. Without something like this, the artwork, the projects, or its vision won't be coherent vision, or its direction, and every element will be pulling toward its own style or vision, and generally the project will be a mess. What I mean by this is, if you don't have everything like being described in well put together, it will be like something that is made by committee where everyone pulls toward what they think it is best, and in the end you will get something like Concord. So you need to have a coherent vision for how the world feels, and this is something like with writing especially, you will not notice this as much as you do when like the work of an art director influences the visuals, but you will understand it on like a subconscious level, on like the feelings that, again, as I said here in the script, the feeling that they evoke from you, the description for like whatever thing it is, be it sound or visuals, it kind of gives you this sort of feeling or emotion that I don't think the visuals alone will be able to do if there wasn't like a good writing backing it up. So continuing from there, where were we? For example, we can say, so here for examples, by the way, the examples are pretty trash, but we're gonna humor past me for a while here. So, as I said in the past or in the script, for example, we can say that a small church sits alone on the top of a hill, reminiscing about days gone. As bad as my example is, and I know that even back then, W for me, I guess. It does give you a better idea, and it gives the church a bit more of a character. We can add in a bit more information that we can pull from the image that we have in our heads. The image can be something that you imagined, or can be something that you saw and did a quick flawless photo bash of in your head. All is left now is to render dash on paper, so it can be something like an old building halfway leaning to its death. It lays upon a hill, raggedy wood, washed out paint, airy noises speak through the holes of its rotten wood. Or it can be the ruins that still sits there, seems to resemble what once was a church that remains, the remains of broken chairs, the skeleton of an altar that is a fart away from collapsing. As you can see, I was sleep deprived, so I'm sorry for the profanity right there. A fart away from collapsing. What a great description. But the important part is when I said the flawless photo bash in your imagination or in your head, which is something that you do in your head. The ideas look flawless because you're photo bashing them and you're mixing them together, and your brain makes them seem real and coherent. That is a great thing when it comes to writing, because you're not necessarily are locked to visuals trying to like get the perfect image. It's like line art in comparison to watercolor painting. Watercolor is just hinting at stuff. It's like impressionist art, but with line art, everything that you put there, it is there and it does exist and it is solid. It is like there 100%, because the line art is either a silhouette or ambient occlusion, which is where like two objects meet. So with photo bashing, stuff in your head, as I said, which is photo bashing is something that you do in Photoshop with mixing a bunch of photos together to create like a nice concept art or whatever. But when you do it in your head, mixing a lot of visuals that you get from everywhere, it can be from reality or your imagination or your dreams even, it makes it a bit more rich. And once you render those in your description, the way that you write them, you're just describing them as you describe a building that you saw like IRL or something like that, except this one is more fancy and grandiose, if you will. I hope I got to my point through, because I will go on later on in this script to make a comparison between actually writing stuff and sculpting, which is the way that you do this thing that I just mentioned in this me trying to explain why writing is actually cool, because it is like sculpting. The way that I said, you're rendering the description or the vision of what you saw in your head to paper. So yeah, I'm gonna skip a bit because the script is a bit too long for some reason. I guess I was waiting for the dentist for too long. Here is an important part that I really liked and I really am thinking about always, especially recently, because I have a resurgent interest in gacha games and I want to learn about how they're made, both not just the visuals or the gameplay, how it is made. I want to learn about the concept of them from the ground up, how they are actually made, like the whole thing. I want to learn about the whole package. So these are one of the things that kind of piques my interest. So as I already read what the fuck am I saying? As I already written here, one of the great writing perks is that it can make nothing into something. And a good example of that is characters. A character sprite is nothing, like the one that you gamble on for gacha games, for example. But once you give it a name and a backstory, and some other elements like events that defines who they are, something that happens to them in the past, for example, or how they look like, personality, and other things. And that I think is what makes a character, even though roughly they might all look the same, like what they have in gacha games. I swear I don't have anything against gacha except the gambling part. But yeah, please don't say the hate toward me. Most of the characters are basically have the same looks, the same personality, with some small differences in their attributes as a character, especially from when they differ from game to game, mainly making them way more cringier, like with the uwu stuff, or making them a bit more hornier, with obviously accompanied by a non-existent backstory. Most of them are shallow at best, and usually they are boring, like as boring as watching the paint dry type of boring. So what matters, I guess, is the surface writing, like the personality and the generic dialogue. I hope I did not offend any one of the gacha game connoisseurs if they are listening. But what I mean by all of the above is, especially with the last line, because I isolated that and put it in quotations, what matters is the surface writing, personality, and generic dialogue, because those are the things that you're mostly going to be interacting with, especially if you're playing gacha. You're there for the character, like just the interaction part. You're not really interested in anything that much or that deep. and you shouldn't add in something that deep to a gacha game. In the end, it is just there to sell in cute characters doing cute things. Uh, I don't want to call it just the one-handed gameplay and start like just bashing it. I don't like to be like that. I don't know what to say, but not bully, but just being a bad motherfucker overall. So yeah, I'm gonna be a distinguished gentleman right here and call it for what it is, as like a genre of itself. You cannot put like a very refined backstory to the characters. It is what it is. Because the player is there just to interact with their favorite looking character, with their favorite trope and their favorite dialogue, with them saying the same thing that they heard over and over again. Just right now, it is maybe different voice actress, maybe, I'm saying maybe here, and maybe slightly different visuals. If it was a cat girl before, now it is a fox girl, and if it was a dog, now it was a wolf, and so on and so forth. So yeah, there's still a lot to the script, and there's still a lot in my head that I wanna put down, but there still is the problem of how to make the visuals for it, which is something that I'm not worried about, because I decided to put all of like the videos that I used to produce in here. I am putting them on the side because I don't wanna be producing the same thing over and over again. I'm gonna stick to this podcast. I'm gonna work on tutorials, try to do a bit more research and trying to make the tutorials and explaining stuff, because I have like courses planned which are something that I don't know what to do about. I will love to share them for free, but sharing them for free and sharing them and or like selling them in a paid way are both equal to me at the moment, because if I'm not gonna get a lot of profit from them for all of the work that I have put in them, I don't think putting them out there for free is the best option, even though I really love to like have free information out there for the free ski, for people that cannot afford really to buy courses or put them in danger in case they want to pirate them, because you might think that you are getting like course of how to draw big anime titties, and in the end you get like a virus or a malware that wipe out your entire hard disk, or maybe like install some sort of Bitcoin mining thing. So yeah, I'm still thinking about those, but those are big, very big things, like making a church, for example, which is something that I really want to. But the thing that I want to do is to go from the concept art until the finished version. And when I'm saying here finished version, I'm talking about doing one in 3D and one in 2D and one in pixel art, the HD pixel art, not that trashy Square Enix BS that they do with the Octo Traveler, I think it was called. But I'm talking about something in the veins or similar to Eastwards, and what was the other one? Stars, Sea of Stars. Yeah, similar to those, where they use normal maps, and especially with Eastwards, it looks amazing. The gameplay is a bit and the story is trash, but it looks phenomenal. So I'm talking about something like that. So do you achieve that? And I'm talking about how to make environment for video games. I'm not talking about making it for VFX or movies where you render stuff and who cares. I'm talking about like real-time rendering, and I want to do it still on Unreal 5 or 4, sorry, because it does measure in terms of performance what you're making. And yeah, how do I share that, and how do I put all of the information that I want to put in terms of how you need to optimize your geometry, how you need to optimize your textures, animation if there is any, light, and so many different things that I find it like weird to put it all into like a single course or tutorial. But as I think of it, it is like working with a studio, because you will get a lot of new recruits, and you will get a lot of contractors that you need to explain to them stuff, and you need to explain to them stuff kind of quickly, like you will have just a day with them, that you give them the round, like everything that is going on there, give them a summary of what the project is, how do you work, how does the exact thing that they're supposed to be working on, if they're sculpting, texturing, surfacing, doing the lighting or doing some sound effects or music, what the exact thing that they should focus on, what is the vibes key that you're working with, and just let them be. So I think this skill is gonna benefit me later on in my career as a game and anime creator. Anime also have the same thing where you once you get into a project, you kind of get a handout, which is the SETI or the material book, I think they call it in English, or the no Bible or something like that. It is the one of the Simpsons is the one that is called the no something, something that you shouldn't do. How you do not draw the Simpsons, for example, because you need to follow a united vision when it comes to the visuals. So yeah, things like that I will definitely benefit from, but I need to learn the skills of how to explain stuff straight the fuck up, especially when it comes to things like the ones that I'm working on right now. One is about like how to create books, and this one is about concept art. And if I'm working with a concept artist, even the horizon isn't enough for a limit. The limit is infinite, but I need to like lower the scope into like a limited infinite. If you understand what I'm trying to say, with the limitations as I said before of the visuals and so on, and it can be even some technical stuff. For example, we cannot have different materials, like too many materials. For example, an object can have only like 2 or 3 materials at max. So how do you convey even more materials in there? How do you convey like more texture going on there, even though that we have only just 1 or 2 to work with or designate there? Because again, this is a game, so you need to optimize quite a lot for it. So yeah, things like those that I think I will be able to be figure out or do something about them in the future. Anyways, this podcast is not going nowhere, so you're gonna hear updates about that in the future, or you're gonna see the tutorials uploaded into the other channel. But for this one, I want to figure out something that is a bit more satisfactory to my bar of quality. I don't want to feel sassy or like condescending or whatever you want to call it, or perfectionist, because that is the worst thing. Even though that it is the best thing, because you need to follow perfection at all costs, but at the same time you will not reach that place. Even though that it is within an arm reach, it is like that foreshortening effect where it is there but you cannot reach it. So I need to fight that perfectionism and be able to produce better works and more of the work, so I can get all of the bad ones out of me and be able to reach that perfection that I'm seeking. But that aside, I would like to end this with like talking about some games in anime, which for anime I have not watched any, which is a concerning thing on my part, because if I watch anime I get inspired by anime and I want to create something like that, be it the way that characters are written, the whole plot is made, a specific neat micro thing, which is the way an episode is structured. And I'm not talking here about just as simple stuff as the Kishu Tenketsu. I'm not concerned about that. I already know that. I already understand the concept. I haven't applied it that much, which is something that I gotta admit, something that I need to get on and start to applying a lot more, especially when it comes to the Yonkoma, the 4 columns, or sorry, 4 panels stories, like Azumanga Daioh or something like that. That is a good exercise thing to do, especially when it comes to like doing manga or one shots. But yeah, I have a couple of animes because I'm not too interested in the stuff that's being released currently. Not because I am a snobby type of I don't know what to call it, a pompous fan, but I am an enjoyer. I have upgraded long time ago to an enjoyer, from a fan to an enjoyer. So what I enjoy nowadays is a bunch of VTubers and the occasion visual novel, which mostly are from the 90s or the 80s, especially the PC 98. I really like those because not because of the visuals, not because of like the hard way that you get into them, because you need to emulate them on like this weird emulator that doesn't work most of the time, which most of the visual novels, if you want a neat kind of underground tip, you will find them on the Sega Dreamcast, I think, or Sega Genesis. I forgot which one of them, but you will find them there. You need to get the ones on the Sega Genesis or Dreamcast, not the Dreamcast, the Genesis, I think. the one that was 32 bits, because they are the same art style with the pixel art. If you get the ones on the PlayStation 1, you will find something that looks more like anime, and that is not what I'm there for. I'm there for that pixel art, great, fantastic aesthetic. So yeah, I went back to 2017 and saw some animes that I was interested in that I did not finish, either because I lost interest in, or I watched them fully and did not understand them and watched them just for the sake of completion, because that is something that I used to do and it is a very stupid thing. And now I want to go back and rewatch them. One of them is a weird thing about a detective and a girl, which is a fairy from another world that I still do not understand, that I hopefully will be able to watch and give you the rundown over in like a few weeks, hopefully. There is another thing. I need to finish stuff that I start instead of just starting and leaving it on. So the other thing, or the other series, is Kino's Journey, because I watched the 2017 one, and it recently just came to my attention that it actually had an anime, not just a manga, but an anime in like 2000 or 2003 that was great. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that also. Because I really love the art style and I really love the anime, and I really love it because it's also like a project that I'm working on about traveling and stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. The final thing is about games, is that I want to finish more games, so I decided to create this timesheet where I log in every hour that I play and every day that I play, to track down how many days do I play games in a month and how long are the play sessions, because my play sessions are usually like an hour to 2 hours, and the longest one was yesterday, where I played 3 hours and a half of Anarchy Rage, which is a game that doesn't run usually on RCPS3, or at least for me, but for some reason now it decided to run, and I played the hell out of that game, even though the frame drops were insane. But I do not care, to be honest with you. It was just such a joy and pleasure to experience that game that I wanted to experience for so long, and goddamn does it live to the expectations. And I really want to go back there once I finish the main story. Once I unlock all of the characters, I want to go down the rabbit hole of all of the characters and how do they play and so on. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to the new year. So yeah, if you're still listening, Happy New Year. Thank you for listening or watching or subscribing or commenting on all of the supports. I really appreciate that. And yeah, with that said, thank you all for listening, and as always, make sure to have yourselves a damn good one.